I'm convinced this dude is a complete psychopath. Like Diddy crazy. He in court right now, and he keep getting in trouble for trying to sway the jury, sending threats to the audience allegedly. And I'm gonna show you guys some of that and some of the people that they're saying that they were the ones in the audience that he was threatening. And I got their statements, and we're gonna play that in a second. And I think that he's in a situation where he's never not been in control, or for the last, since he was 18, 19, 20 years old, he's never really had a situation where he had to kind of be humble. And this is a situation that he in trial and it's been weeks, and he's just been sitting there taking all the shots, taking all the darts. And it's really hard for him to sit there and be quiet and just accept what people are saying about him and accept what these people are getting on the stand and doing, and not being able to have any control. And because of that, I think he's looking at the jury and he's looking at the people in the audience, and he's trying to have some form of control. And it's gotten so bad that the judge in the trial has even threatened to remove him from the courtroom, according to reports. And it says that he was threatened, the judge threatened to remove Diddy from the courtroom because of the jury interactions. So we're going to get into that in a second. I got the live updates. Kanye West just showed up at the court. We're going to talk about that and show you guys what that's about. And we're going to get through all this. Before we get started, you guys know how we doing the live streams, the rule of the room, a couple rules. Keep it respectful in the chat with each other. Make sure that you don't disrespect no victims. That's going to get you banned. If you have a question or comment you want me to put on screen so the audience can see, so everybody can see, we're probably going to have a couple 100,000 people watching like always. If you want your question or comment put on screen, send it to the super chat. We'll put it on screen. We'll respond to it. We got a lot of information to get through today. And as we go through this, you guys know how we do. We start everything, every time we do a live stream, we start with a prayer. So we're going to start that way today. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you humbly, God, thanking you for another day. I ask that you let everything that's correct be clear that it came from you, and everything incorrect clear that it came from me. God, I ask that you let this not only be informative, but entertaining for our audience, God. And I ask that you let everybody that's listening under the sound of my voice be blessed as they go to and from where they're going to and from today. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, man, we attack these entertainment news topics from the entrepreneur perspective. I think this is one of the best entrepreneur learning lessons that we have this year, which is the Diddy trial. It just shows you, because everybody that's testifying against him, a lot of the people that's testifying against him are former employees or somebody that he paid at some point. I think that's significant. I think that it's also significant on just being humble when you get to a place of success and a place of power. I think that that's important. This article says judge in Diddy trial warns that he may be removed from the courtroom after his jury interactions. The federal judge overseeing the trafficking trial scolded Diddy and his defense lawyers and warned he could be removed from the courtroom because Diddy continues to make facial expressions at jurors. The judge said this as a quote, "I was very clear. There should be no facial expressions to the jury. I could not have been clearer." He said, the judge added, "There was a line of questioning where Diddy was nodding vigorously and continuing to look at the jury. There should be no efforts to have any interactions with this jury." The judge asked Diddy's defense lawyer, if this will happen again. Diddy's lawyer said, "No, Your Honor, it's not going to happen again." The judge added, "If Diddy does not comply, I will give an instruction to the jury, or it could result in the exclusion of your client from the courtroom altogether." So obviously this is an issue. This is the issue that's going on, and they're trying to deal with it the best they can, but they feel the judge is starting to take notice of it. And the prosecution has been pointing this out constantly to the judge. And I think once they saw that the judge was, kind of picking up on it, they kind of trying to overdo it, where now it's like, we trying to say everything he's doing is to influence the jury. Now, this is the same judge. This judge, I don't think he really likes Diddy. Rightfully so. Who would in this situation? But the judge did rule on the mistrial previously. Diddy tried to request a mistrial a couple days ago, and the judge ruled on it. So just kind of give you guys an update on that. The judge said no mistrial. The article says Diddy and his legal team accused the prosecution of presenting false testimony during this criminal trial. Said Diddy's defense team accused the prosecution of presenting allegedly false testimony, which led to a motion for mistrial. According to TMZ, the judge ruled on the mistrial request and denied the request, meaning that the trial would continue as planned. And the judge allowed the prosecution's presented testimony to remain. Prosecutors reportedly haven't responded to the mistrial request at the present time. So Diddy obviously feels like, I think he kind of knows that it's a tough situation to get out of. And I don't know that he believes that he's going to beat this case. I think he's looking for a mistrial or some reason to get out of it. And then when you can't get out of it, it's like, let's try to influence the jury. Let's try to just scare people into, or intimidate people or whatever, or even just try to charm people. It's funny. Not so funny, but his only tool is his celebrity right now. I don't think he could beat this case. When I looked at all the facts of the case, and you guys know we've been here breaking it down, I don't know that Diddy can really beat this case because they already have him on so many different situations. Let's see what's going on live in the court. And actually, let's hear from this woman that says she was in the courtroom and Diddy threatened her. Let's hear from her right now. Let's check this out. I'm not sure. Some of you guys might be familiar with her. I'm not sure. I'm not really familiar with her, but people say that she's pretty popular. So let's hear what she had to say about the situation.
Walks into the courtroom, black sweater. And the attorneys, it's so interesting. I feel like as the trial progresses, he can't even hide it. His real mannerisms are starting to show because every single thing just reminds me of a commanding businessman. And I'm just going to give you a scale of his businessman poses. Anytime he sits and he listens to a witness testimony, he will have a default businessman pose that he sits in. And sometimes it's a lot more pronounced than others. But right when he walks into the courtroom, he looks like the president of the board meeting. All the attorneys are standing, waiting to hug him, waiting to greet him. Meanwhile, the prosecution, they look like they're not here to play games. Combs sits down on his chair. On either side, he's got Nicole Westmoreland standing behind him on his right side. On his left side, he's got Brian Steele. And they're both standing behind him with one hand on the back of Diddy's chair, and they're crouched over and talking to him. They're both whispering to both sides of his face. And it's like two consultants going over a business deal with the CEO, and Sean Combs is just staring straight ahead. Meanwhile, Tenny Garagos and Mark Agnifilo walk in. Combs stands up. He pulls out Tenny's chair for her, even helps her scoot in, which apparently she's 4 months pregnant with her second child. The next witness on the stand is Capricorn Clark. Everybody has been anticipating her testimony, considering she's the one that has claimed she was kidnapped by Sean Combs. I mean, that's a lot to unpack. Capricorn Clark, she walks in. Look,
where is it at? It's a different one. Hold on, give me a second. This is the woman that said, I think she's the one that's been reporting on Diddy, and she said that Diddy threatened her. Let me see. Matter of fact, I know exactly where it's at. Here, we'll do this. Let's see.
Sean Diddy Combs is a menace. Did he say to one of the bloggers within the court?
I don't want to hear the dude talk about it. I want to hear it directly from the person that said it. Stephanie So is her name. Stephanie So. Let me pull it up. Here we go. Let's see what he's talking about.
Sean Diddy Combs is a menace. Did he say to one of the bloggers within the court, I know you? Not one time, multiple times, on different days. I remember a journalist reporting the first week of the Diddy trial, Diddy taking a hard look at the media outlets that were there covering the story. Just the other day, Sunny Hostin from The View made eye contact with Diddy because she knows Diddy, and he looked at her while in court. Don't forget, just last week, the judge had told Diddy's attorney, reprimanding him for communicating with different looks with the jury. Allegedly, Diddy told one of the sketch artists, "Stop making me look like a koala bear."
Yeah, I
His
seen that.
priorities are screwed up. Now, Stephanie Sue, a TikToker content creator that's been covering this story, is reporting that Diddy looked at her in court and said, "I know you." And not once, but multiple times on multiple days. She also reported the other day that she's been getting strange questions outside the courtroom about, "Where are you staying? Don't I know you?" And of course, Stephanie doesn't want to believe that he was talking to her or that these people that are asking her these weird questions out.
Check this out. This is her talking about it.
And at that point, the feeling was he was saying that towards you, right?
Yeah, so my researcher wrote like it looked like he was looking at Stephanie. I wrote like, listen, you know when you can like make eye contact with someone, it feels like they're looking at you. Because you know when you're talking to someone and they're looking behind you, you start like looking behind you without even thinking about it subconsciously because you're like, wait, what's going on? Why are you
See if we could put this.
like, wait, what's going on? Why are you looking behind me? If
I was trying to
it
put
felt
it
like he was
full
looking at me, but again, I'm not trying to be dramatic. I don't know if he was looking at me. He could have been looking behind me, right? But then right at that moment, the jury comes in, we all stand up, and as there's noise in the courtroom, because we're not allowed to talk when the judge is on the bench, a reporter from a major media network, I mean, she's been doing this for years and years. She's like a professional. She turns to me and she whispers, quote, "You're putting that in your video, right? Because that was at least 7 seconds." And 7 seconds does feel like an eternity
It's
in
not
that
only
courtroom.
just looking, but like the mouthing of "I know you"
Yeah.
is weird.
And it
right?
was a pretty long time. Like usually when he, you know how in the beginning I'm like, this guy loves to stare. He kind of dropped a lot of the staring, at least towards the press. He's still smirking.
And at that point, the feeling was
So she says that she's in the courtroom, and I guess she's creating content around the situation. And Diddy turned around like, "I know you." She said it was very clear, like, "I know you." Let's see what's going on live in court today. Kanye West just showed up to the court. Let's see what they talking about, man. Said Jane finished her final day of testimony. That was the Jane Doe that was on the stand. Says Jane, one of Sean Diddy Combs' accusers, testifying under the pseudonym, concluded her testimony yesterday after undergoing cross-examination and redirect questioning. I want to get into something else too in a second. There's like, everybody believes that Diddy have some type of Illuminati ties. I think I found those ties. And I'm going to get into that in a second. I got some stuff that I want to show y'all that it go pretty deep down the rabbit hole. So stick with me for a while. After we get through this, I want to show you guys that because I thought that stuff was kind of crazy. It's almost like I don't even know if I should be talking about that stuff, but I'm gonna show you guys anyway. And it goes so deep, even Malcolm X spoke about it. And I'm gonna show you guys what he said about the whole situation, about that whole like secret society. And they say Diddy is involved in it, and there's some articles to support it. So we'll get to that in a second. It says special agent expected to take the stand next after Jane Doe's testimony. So let's see what's going on. It said lawyers argue about testimony of the next witness. Defense attorneys and prosecutors are arguing about the testimony of a special agent involved in the search of Diddy's LA home in March 2024. The agent is expected to testify about the guns that he recovered from Diddy's home. The defense attorney for Diddy argued that one of the agents who initially recovered the guns should testify about exactly where they were found, rather than an agent who dealt with the guns later during the same search process. The prosecutor said it may not be possible to establish which agents could testify about that because the team of agents who cleared the sprawling property are not tasked with cataloging evidence, so they don't keep track of who cleared what before the search team took over. Diddy's lawyer said he wanted the jury to hear that the guns were, quote, responsibly maintained by a professional security service behind a locked door. The judge said the agent can testify about the guns found in the security room that housed the gun safe, and the defense can cross-examine him. The judge is considering whether to question a juror following the prosecutor's request to dismiss the juror. So I guess the prosecutor is like, man, we got to get this one person in the jury off. Juror number 6, I guess it is. They want to dismiss him. Says there quote appears to be a lack of candor in the courtroom from that juror. Subramanian which is the judge's name, said there was a question of the juror's residence and confirmed they've established that he met qualifications to be in the jury pool, lived in the jurisdiction at least at the time of jury selection. The juror moved out of the Bronx in the last 2 weeks, the judge said. The judge said this came up only because of a friendly banter the juror had with jury staff members who informed the court of caution. So basically, this juror then snitched on himself, talking too much, and he was like, it seems like he's from New York, and maybe they had a stipulation where they didn't want people from New York, or maybe they didn't want people from certain area. I don't know. Let's see. The judge also pushed back on a previous accusation from one of the defense attorneys this week that this was a thinly veiled effort to dismiss a black juror. So Diddy's team is saying that they trying to dismiss this dude because he's black. He's a black man. And the judge says there's no evidence of that kind of bias. And the prosecution is saying, well, this dude lied to get in the jury. So they probably feel like Diddy planted somebody in the jury. And this dude is going to blow the case. And I guess whoever the juror is, he just got a big mouth and he was behind the scenes talking too much. And he didn't, got himself singled out. So the U.S. attorney said the juror has, quote, multiple things that cannot all be true. The most prudent thing to do would be to get to the bottom of the issue. And Diddy's attorney, one of Diddy's attorneys said further inquiry would be harassing the juror. And she said would feel singled out and picked on if he's subjected to individual questioning again. Man, they're going to question the juror. If he lied to get on the jury, they're going to question him. That's the bottom line. So the special agent who helped in Diddy's LA home search is called to the stand. His name is Andre Lamont. He was part of the Homeland Security agents that raided Diddy's house, found the guns and drugs. And that's another thing. I don't see why people think. I don't see how you got to be a fool to think that Diddy could beat this case. And on some level, he's going to jail. Bro, you got people testifying saying, yes, I'm the one that took the drugs across the state lines. I'm the prostitute that he hired. He paid me this much. I came from Hawaii to Miami, or I came from New York to Miami, or I did like all that's trafficking, all that's against the law. It's drug trafficking, it's sex trafficking, it's all that is against federal laws. So he's doing time. I think it's just a matter of how much time at this point. Is he going to do 5? Is he going to do 10? Is he going to do life? Is he going to do 30? They found drugs and guns in his home. They found drugs in his hotel room the day they arrested him. He's doing some type of, he's going to do time. It's just how much is what they kind of fighting against now, and what charges are ones that are going to stick. And then he's definitely, as far as the racketeering, it's very clear that he's used his organization and the employees of the organization for criminal acts. That's clear across the board. You can't deny that. And then all the employees have come forward and admitted it. So it's not like just Cassie has gotten on the stand. You got to be a fool at this point, or just one of them people that's just enamored by drama or celebrities, or just you want the conspiracy to. Bro, there's no conspiracy here. It's just dude did some wrong stuff and he gonna have to do some time for it, look like. So I guess the jury heard some text messages between Diddy and a staffer, between Ventura and the guard in front of the jury, but before Homeland Security agents, Lamont took the stand. This is the Homeland Security special agent. According to this is interesting. According to this reading, Sean Diddy Combs texted his then chief of staff, Christina Kuran, there's that name again, Christina Kuran, on November 21st, 2023, saying, quote, make sure Robin is not doing anything dumb, like not having the rent paid on time. Can you make sure she paid for this month at least? According to previous testimony, Robin was Combs' accountant, and Jane is somebody that Diddy dated, blah, blah, blah. We don't care about all that. So Kuran responded to the messages saying Robin said her rent was paid. So that kind of confirmed what the Jane Doe that testified, confirmed some of the stuff that she said in previous testimony. Let's see. It says substances positive for ketamine and MDMA were found in Combs' LA home, according to the evidence that was presented today in court. With the Homeland Security's investigation special agent on the stand, the jury saw photos of the items that authorities say were found in nightstands of the master bedroom in Diddy's home. One of the nightstands contained 6 manila envelopes marked with a K. A white powder in the bags tested positive for ketamine. Several cell phones were found in the house. The jury saw photos of items that were in a safe in one of the master closets. Combs's passports and a plastic bag with a brown substance in it were found inside the safe as well. The brown substance also tested positive for MDMA. So they got him on drug charges just on that. They found the drugs, and they said they got the people testifying saying I'm the one that brought it across state lines. That right there, they got him on that. The jury sees photos of items recovered from Combs' home. Special Agent Lamont recovered 200 bottles of baby oil, 900 bottles of personal lubricant, which who cares, right? The jury saw a photo of 16 bottles of lubricant. The jury also saw a bag of baby oil next to the lubricant, next to a pack of lingerie removed from the closet near the master bedroom. That's not, who cares, right? The agent said that they found multiple weapons, ammo designed to penetrate body armor. The jury saw photos of 6 firearms, magazines, and ammunition found in a security room in the home. In California, it'd be different if it was somewhere else in California that you got a problem, dog. Special Agent Lamont testified that when he arrived at Diddy's home, agents responsible for securing the home had already laid out the firearms and removed their magazines. Lamont said the security room had a firearm safe, and agents found 2 locks and a bag. 4 of the guns were rifles. 1 was a pistol, 1 was a shotgun. Lamont testified that the serial number on one of the rifles had been scratched off and sanded off. The agents also seized a drum magazine compatible with the rifles. Mind you, this is at Diddy's LA home. Lamont testified, and if you know California, I'm from California, I live here, you know how the gun laws is here. Most of you guys know. Some of you guys will never come to California because of how the gun laws are. They don't play this. Lamont testified that drum magazines typically hold a larger amount of ammunition. So Diddy had drums, 60-round drums, and 59 rounds of green tip ammunition was found in Diddy's home. The green tip ammunition is designed to penetrate body armor. Guns and ammunition were found only in the security room. When asked, the agents confirmed he's aware that Diddy has a security team at the residence, and there's a designated room for the firearms. Cool. So the special response team cleared Diddy's home first to make sure it was safe for other agents to go in. He said that the team's sole purpose upon entering the location is to look for people or if they encounter weapons to make weapons safe. He said that the team does not typically take photos of items on property. Because of that, Lamont didn't know if the guns were found in the safe or if the safe was locked or if there was a door to the security room. Because in California, especially, you have to, even if you have security, you have to secure it, and Diddy can't have the code to the safe. So that's a significant piece. If you found a bunch of guns in somebody's house and they say, "Oh, it's my security's guns," then you got to be very careful on how you do it, because if you have the code to the safe or if you have access to them, you're breaking the law. So the agent got off the stand, and then Kanye West arrived at the courthouse, which we know Kanye is just, Kanye just kind of clout chasing. You know what I'm saying? I think Kanye just like, yo, everybody going against this, so I'm gonna go with it. Everybody going with that, so I'm gonna go against it. Just, we know how Kanye do. I don't think he really, but it says Kanye West just arrived at the courthouse dressed in all white, wearing sunglasses. Kanye has been in touch with Diddy and his family about possibly attending the trial before this. And so when he walked up to the court, he was asked by a reporter if he's there to support Combs, and he said yes. And then he was directed to the overflow room. The prosecution points judge to Diddy's nodding again during the testimony. So while the jury was on break, the prosecutor brought up an issue with the judge. During the cross-examination of the special agent, Diddy was again nodding emphatically. He was also nodding during some of Jane's cross-examination, Jane Doe, earlier this week. Even if Combs is not looking directly at the jury, he still should not be nodding like that, the prosecution said. Diddy's defense attorney said Diddy hasn't looked at the jury and has been acting professionally. That's a lie because the judge even told him stop looking at the jury. So we know that that's not true. But his lawyers is doing their job. So his lawyer said Mr. Combs did nothing inappropriate at all today or any day, actually. And the judge referenced a discussion the lawyers had last week about Diddy looking at the jury and nodding. So the judge is like, bro, stop lying. Like I just talked to y'all about that. So the judge said, I believe both sides have made the boundaries clear to their respective teams. The judge said, as a quote, there's going to be some amount of reaction to testimony that is given, and it's impossible to police every reaction from every person in this courtroom. But he reiterated that Diddy needs to stop communicating and trying to influence the jury, and that will not be allowed. When he asked Diddy if he was clear on that, Diddy nodded, and the judge advised that he should not be, once again advised, no one should be attempting to influence the jury. The prosecution clarified that she was not seeking a curative action or instruction or suggesting that Diddy should be removed from the courtroom, but thought it was inappropriate for Combs to be displaying this type of body language. While his attorney is asking a witness a yes or no question. So, bro, why you basically the prosecution like, why are you nodding at these people when your lawyer's just asking a yes or no question? Relax. Like you can't. So picture. You gotta kind of picture it. If you want to stand and the lawyer asks you yes or no, and Diddy's going like this, it's almost like saying say yes, right? And that's what the prosecution is tripping on. They're like, bro, he's telling the person on the stand to say yes. It's not that we care about his reaction. We care about him telling this person what to say, and they're testifying against him. And obviously, a lot of these people are Diddy's former employees. So another former assistant, which Diddy had like 4 or 5 assistants take the stand so far. So another former personal assistant to Sean Diddy Combs is now on the stand. His name is Jonathan Perez. Perez is testifying under an immunity order. So this guy got immunity as well. Outside the presence of the jury, he invoked the Fifth Amendment and triggered an immunity order. And the order was signed by the judge. And now he's forced to testify. This is the fourth witness, the article says, that is testifying under immunity. So when people say, why is Diddy how is he possibly in a RICO by himself? He's not. Everybody just took immunity deals. So they wouldn't be caught up as accomplices, you know? So this is the 4th person that worked for Diddy that said, yo, I'll testify, but I want immunity. 4th person. That's why when people go, oh man, it's only about Cassie. No, it's not, bro. No, there's a lot of employees that are testifying. A lot of former people that was working for him that's like, oh yeah, he was kind of. So it says, George Kaplan, also, which is another assistant, also testified under immunity, as well as Brianna Bongolan and a former hotel security guard, Eddie Garcia. So all these people got immunity to testify against Diddy and say, yes, he's the one that did all this crazy stuff. Yes, the security guard testified about bribery, you know, and these other people's testifying about different things. Kanye West exited the courthouse probably when he realized, like, bro, you're going to be in the overflow room. You ain't about to get in. That trial was probably packed, especially because they're not televising it. People in there trying to get their reports. So Kanye left the court after about 40 minutes, it said. And he said he came to support Diddy and then he left. So basically, bro came for a photo shoot and left. Bro came to, just so I could say, oh, I was at Diddy trial. That's what he was there for. I was there. I was supporting him. And then he's like, all right, I'm out of here. Like, bro. Anyways. Jonathan Perez, the personal assistant to Diddy, from 2021 of December to 2024 September 2024, testified that his salary was $85,000. He later made $100,000. Christina Kuran, there's that name again. I think she got to be called to the front at some point. Don't y'all think? I see y'all in the chat. Said they scrambling to get themselves off the hook. I think so too. Christina Kuran at some point got to come to the front of the congregation. No? What do you guys think? She's been mentioned like 15 times. She got to be like the last witness or something. Like she got to be the nail in the coffin. It got to be something. So this assistant, Jonathan Perez, is testifying currently that she was his direct supervisor. And Kuran and Combs seemed to have a good working relationship some days. And it seems they had a personal relationship as well other days, Perez testified. And we heard Cassie, when she testified, say Christina Kuran was in love with Diddy and that she knew it. So maybe there's something there going on. Perez's typical hours were 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Another personal assistant will work the night shift once he was finished. Combs typically had 3 or 4 personal assistants, he said. Kuran made him aware of king nights. King nights, okay. Which Perez described as Combs' going to the hotel to have a private time with some female. Jane, who testified in this trial under a pseudonym, would accompany Combs at hotels for king nights, while Perez worked for Combs. When asked, Perez said that Jane was Combs' female companion, and I'm not really sure exactly what their relationship was. So he calls them king nights. Jane Doe called it hotel nights. Cassie called it freak offs. Christina Kuran knew about it all at the end of the day. And that's the part that I think is interesting too, because she made a statement. Christina Kuran made that statement where she said, I did not aid in the bet in none of this. I don't have nothing to do with none of this. I don't know what's going on. But everybody else, even the hotel security guard, that when Diddy beat up Cassie, the hotel security guard said, yeah, Christina Kuran, the one that came to the hotel to get the tape. After and she came downstairs, and when later on she came downstairs of a high rise and handed me $100,000 and took me upstairs to Diddy. So she involved in this case a lot, heavily. We're not gonna do. I got so much information to get to on this live stream, you guys. I don't know if we're gonna get to the entrepreneur hour like we normally do. So if you're here for that, I'm sorry. I know we do that every live stream, and I know I answer you guys' questions and we go through the chat. I'm going to go through the chat at the end, but I don't think we have enough time for a lesson today. But let's finish what this is saying. King night and preparation involves supplies for a day without interruption, the assistant says. Jonathan Perez continued to testify about staff members setting up king nights for Diddy. That's RICO. That's racketeering. If you using your record company staff, y'all supposed to be in the music business, and you're using this staff to set up like trafficking, like these freak offs that you trafficking prostitutes in for them, that's a crime. You're using your legal organization to commit crime. So the staff members set up king nights, and that's all the government is trying to, by the way, that's all the government is trying to establish, that Diddy is just, he uses all this legal stuff, all the legal organizations that you saw, he was using it for criminal stuff, which is going to suck in the end. When he going to get convicted. And when he gets convicted, they're going to seize all this stuff, because they're going to say everything that he made legitimately was actually illegitimate. It was used in crime. It's no different than if I go get a job, or if I go start a company and I take the company money and start selling drugs, go use it to buy drugs. They're going to say all this company, everything here is tainted, and they take everything. That's the danger of this stuff, man. It's crazy. I feel bad for his daughters. So this assistant is testifying and said whichever assistant was working in the evening would typically set up the king night. Perez typically worked throughout the day, so he estimates he only set up about 5 king nights for Diddy. He said it was a lot of packing materials. Now, I want you guys to keep in mind that this dude has immunity, so he did something wrong. He said it was a lot of packing materials, making sure that he was going to have everything he would need for 12 to 24 hours without having to bother anybody. Food, liquor, music, red lights, condoms, lubricant, sometimes honey. Honey enhances a man's libido, he said. Perez said he sometimes also went to adult stores to purchase adult outfits and high heels. He would pay for them with the company credit card or with cash he got from Diddy security. Boom, racketeering. Combs' former assistant describes what happened after a king night. He said the room would just be a mess and a bit in disarray, just like a lot of sheets, towels, and oils. Perez said his main purpose was his main purpose of cleaning up was to make sure no items were left behind. The former assistant testified that Diddy and his guests would be tired when he saw them after a king night. Combs staff would typically arrange for a meal, a massage, or an IV drip after one of these nights. And we've seen the videos of Diddy with the IVs and all that stuff, right? You guys, if you haven't seen it, go look it up. The jury has now seen messages that Perez sent to Combs and to Jane involving information about a hotel room. This was the text message. It said, quote, just left 2 candles and a room phone in front of the room door. I'm only 9 minutes away if y'all need anything. The jury also saw messages between Combs' chief of staff, Christina Kuran, and Perez, and another assistant about setting up the hotel room. So Christina Kuran is involved, dog. Like, she caught up. In the messages, Kuran asked if the room was done, and Perez said he was going to run to the store to get outfits for Jane. In another conversation seen in court, Kuran asked another assistant how cleanup was going, and the assistant said, I slipped and fell twice. That's how much baby oil and Astroglide was around these rooms. Combs' ex-assistant said staffer found explicit videos of Jane on an iPad. Jonathan Perez recounted recounted a time at Combs' LA home when the videographer for Diddy found a video of Jane and another man that wasn't Diddy engaging in sexual activity. So Perez said the video was on an iPad, usually used by Combs' staff. Combs could be seen in the background of the video, watching, basically he in the corner doing the Diddy thing, watching this woman and another man. Perez said he took the iPad and told Combs and Christina Kuran separately about that video. He testified that Combs seemed, they have a typo on the article. Combs seemed surprised when he told him about the video. Christina Kuran told Perez that next time he should give the footage directly to her and she would deal with Diddy herself. About 6 months later, Kuran questioned Perez about the video and how it was found. She told Perez she had got a call from someone outside the company talking about the video in some capacity. A recording of that conversation was recovered from Kuran's phone, and that was seized in 2024. Wow. So they had Christina Kuran's phone tapped. The feds recorded that conversation, and that was last year when all this kicked off. Perez testified he didn't even know that he was being recorded at the time, and the jury is now hearing the recording. That's crazy. So the jury is hearing the recording, heard the recording of the conversation with Christina Kuran. She got to come to the front of the congregation, right? Let me see what you guys saying in the chat. Said, I think she's going down with Diddy. I think so too. Said, thank you for the excellent cover. You're really breaking it down in a way that's easy to follow. Thank you. I hope so. I hope that you guys is following along. I think it's good information. I think that it's really telling to see what's going on behind the scenes with these people, because when you look at Diddy on the surface, you don't see none of this. You know what I'm saying? You don't see all this different crazy stuff, man. Like, you just think that you get what you see what you see is what you get. But I guess that's not the case. And it makes me go, who else is like this? Who else is in like front of the public eye that we all think they're one way, but they're really not that way? There's really some crazy stuff going on behind the scenes. Salute to Victor, one of the members of the channel, said, what's up, Will? So you think the court will subpoena Gene Deal? I don't know. I don't know if they will. I think Gene Deal would do it if they subpoenaed him. That's a good question, though. I think he has a lot of information. And a lot of the things that people were saying in the past is starting to line up. Look, I did a video a while ago, maybe about it should be a little under a year ago, when this first all broke, and the dude that everybody was calling crazy, because he was saying like Diddy is in the Illuminati, and Diddy, he was like the first guy, Jonathan Odie. He was the first guy that came out and said all this crazy stuff about Diddy. And I did a video about it, but I missed something in the video about the Illuminati part. And so it made me go look at everything else that was going on. So I want you guys to check this out real quick. And then I'm going to show you guys these Illuminati ties that they say Diddy got. Check this out.
P. Diddy, whatever you call it. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's part of what's called the Boule. The Boule is a branch of the Illuminati.
Okay.
I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot of business. Because what they would do is Sean talks a lot on the phone and on the TV with speakers and stuff, and I was like a sex slave, okay? For them, that's what I was. That's all right? I caught herpes, and I came back and I seen for herpes and won. But they did Mark Eros and Ben Mercedes were his attorneys, okay? And Christopher Leon here was my attorney. They asked me.
My bad. I forgot that ads was gonna play. Hold on. This information too good. Hold on. Let me take this off screen. I don't want the stream to get taken down. But y'all heard him say Diddy's in the Illuminati. He's in the Boule. That's what he said. And he said, this is before, mind you, this is before the trial and this is before the lawsuits. This is before all that. Dude is just like telling the truth, low key. I guess he got caught up on something else. Let's keep hearing what he had to say.
Leon here was my attorney. They asked me to turn in that, which was the video recording, and I did so. They gave it back to me accidentally, and it's possible I threw everything out. It's possible I can produce a copy.
Gotcha.
It's possible. I'm not sure. Us, which they good buddies, okay? They gay.
Who?
Both Diddy and Ross and Khaled. They all gay. Okay?
DJ Khaled.
Boy, when 50 get a hold of this, I'm funny for that. That's funny. When 50 get a hold of this, y'all know 50 don't like Ross or Khaled or Puff. When Buddy's saying, I don't know no grown man that would admit nothing like this and it not have and it not be true. Not even some truth. I don't know a grown man that will say things like this out loud and it not be true. It's easy to paint somebody as crazy until you hear these stories come out, man. Until you see the arrest, it's like, nah, he just crazy. But then after you see what really goes on and you see the real story behind it, it's like, oh, maybe he's not crazy. Maybe there's something to that. So I did that video previously, but I missed the part in that moment where he was talking about like the Boule and all this other stuff. Man, I went and did some research. Like, man, what is that about? What is that? I found an article. A couple articles, one from the LA Times actually too. This article says Diddy and the alleged connection to the Boule Society and Illuminati. So how it started. Diddy is a multifaceted figure in the music industry, blah, 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 blah. However, beyond his successful career, Diddy has often been associated with various conspiracy theories, particularly the Boule Society and the Illuminati. This article is going to explore the connections between these implications. The Boule Society, formerly known as Sigma Pi Phi Fraternity, founded in 1904, is an exclusive organization for African-American professionals. It aimed to promote social networking and support its members, right, who are often influential in their respective fields. While the Boule Society focuses on uplifting the Black community, and conspiracy theories suggest that it serves as a secret society with ties to the Illuminati, a term commonly associated with various theories regarding global control and manipulation. Before I get into Diddy's connection with them, I want y'all to hear what Malcolm X said about the Boule Society in the 60s or the 50s. Because this has been around since, my bad. This has been around since 1904, right? And Malcolm X spoke about this. Check this out. I thought this is super interesting too. Just so you kind of know the reach that these people have.
Concerning the poll taken by Newsweek magazine, I think you said that this was the leaders who said that, who went with King and against Mr. Muhammad around 90%. I just told you a little while ago, these leaders that they call leaders, this included Lena Horne, this included Dick Gregory, and this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and or over the black community by the white community, and have been made celebrities, and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear. And it is an honor, actually, that they endorsed Dr. Martin Luther King.
After slavery, the white elite realized something dangerous. You can't stop black brilliance.
That was a good point that Malcolm X made, right? Like, name in the white community or any other community where a celebrity becomes the leader of the community. In our culture, we see that constantly. It's like, oh, you a celebrity? You automatically a black leader, right? And then when you think about Diddy's situation, as we go back into this connection between Diddy and this society, think about that. I want y'all to keep that in mind, what Malcolm X said. Name in any other community other than the black community where a celebrity becomes the leader of the community just because you make a song or just because you can sing. Like, is Taylor Swift a leader in the white community? Is she one of the leaders of the community? You know what I'm saying? I've been all over, I done traveled all over the world, man. In Asia, buddy, you go to Asia, I can't remember his name. Oppa Gangnam Style. Y'all know that song? Remember that? Gangnam Style. That dude is huge in Asia. Like, but is he a leader of the Asian community? You know what I'm saying? So like that would be like, is Bad Bunny a leader for Latinos? Like, is he a leader of the Latino community? You know what I'm saying? Anyways, this is the connection, Diddy's alleged connection to the society. Diddy's name frequently surfaces in discussions about the Boule Society and the Illuminati. Some conspiracy theorists claim that his success in the music industry and in business as a result is a result of his alleged affiliation with these organizations. Somebody said in the chat, Trump was a celebrity. Yeah, but Trump was a billionaire. He was a celebrity for being a businessman. And his whole stuff was built around being a businessman. Black people made Trump famous for real. Because he was a billionaire that black people would embrace. And he would embrace black people. That comes from him having the football league and all that stuff back in the day. Trump was made famous by that type of stuff. And then his TV show and all that. But he was already successful. He wasn't successful from being a billionaire. He was successful from real estate. Like, it's not like he made a song or like he did a dance. And now you, like, it's a whole different thing. Whole different thing. And he wasn't a leader of the white community until he became president. Nobody looked to Trump in the white community for issues until he became president. So that's a big difference. Anyways, Diddy's name frequently surfaces in discussions about the Boule Society and the Illuminati. Some conspiracy theorists claim that his success in the music industry and business is a result of his alleged affiliation with these organizations. They argue that membership in the Boule Society provides access to a powerful network that can help individuals, help individuals achieve significant influence and success. While these claims are often sensationalized, it is essential to approach them critically. Diddy is known for his ambition and strategic partnerships, leading some to interpret his success as evidence of occult influences rather than hard work and talent simply. The Illuminati conspiracy, the Illuminati, originally a Bavarian society founded in the late 18th century, has evolved into a catch-all term for various conspiracy theories. Many believe the Illuminati consists of elite members who control world events. Behind the scenes, Diddy, along with other celebrities, has been linked to these theories with claims that they're part of a larger agenda to manipulate the public perception and control cultural narratives. Diddy is not alone in facing these allegations. Many high-profile figures are often drawn into these conspiracy theories surrounding the Illuminati, obviously. And this reflects a broader societal anxieties about power dynamics and the influence of celebrities in contemporary culture. I heard somebody say once that is, and I'm rich, grace of God. So full disclosure, I want that to be kind of known before I say this, right? So I'm speaking to this from the perspective of I have millions. And I do think I struggle with this as somebody that's successful. and rich, which is two different things. Is there a way to be a moral billionaire? Right? Like, can a billionaire be moral? And I watched somebody break down the math of it. And it was like, yo, to be a billionaire, like how many dollars per second do you have to make? You know what I'm saying? How many dollars per second do you have to make? And said, were you in the military? No, I've never been in the military. I'm successful from business. So he's saying, why you travel around? How'd you travel around the world? I made a lot of money in business over the last 10 years. Like, can I be a moral billionaire? That's a good question. Because in order for you to make that much money, like, that's not regular. That's not even 1% money. Like, people think the 1%, you know what it is to be in the upper 1% of society? That's like $600,000 a year. If you make $600,000 a year, you in the 1%. If you make a couple million, which I just learned, you're in like the upper 0.1% of society. If you make a couple million in American dollars. And so imagine a billionaire. That's like 0.0000001% of people. There's like, what, 3,000 billionaires or something like that? And there's like 7 billion people. So imagine that. So can you be a moral billionaire? Because somebody made a really good point. They said that the amount of people that you have to use and step on, and the amount of people that you have to kind of not look at as people and look at as numbers in order to make, because in order to make money, here's a lesson as entrepreneurs. In order to make money, in order to obtain a lot of money, all the money you want is literally in somebody else's pocket. You can't print money. You can't physically make it for yourself. You have to convince somebody else to give it to you. And you can convince somebody to give it to you in the form of their time, in the form of their actual money in transaction. Right? So the time that you spend working for my company is going to make me more money. So that's how I'm getting money out of your pocket into mine. Because I understand the value of my time is I understand the value of my time in a way that you don't understand the value of time. So you'll trade $20 an hour for my company because that's what's valuable for you currently. But for me, I would never work for $20 an hour because I know an hour is worth more than $20. But you got to do it, right? So like, it's a good conversation to have. Like, can you be a moral billionaire? Let me know what you guys think about that in the chat. Said, I think it's possible to be a moral billionaire if your foundation is God. Okay, I can agree with that. I think it's just really hard. I think this is why in the Bible it says, when Jesus says, truly I say to you, it's harder for a rich man to enter or go through the eye of a needle than it is for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to inherit the kingdom of God. When you know what the kingdom of God is, it's just the king's dominion, the king's domain, meaning for God to be number one in your life. I don't think it's about getting into heaven. I think it's about when he said that, it's not about getting into heaven. Actually, what he's saying is it's hard for somebody that makes a lot of money to humble themselves before God and say, God, I need you. And I 100% agree with that. It's really hard for rich people. So maybe you can be morally if you got. I think anything is possible, right? But in general, are most billionaires able to be moral? You know, I don't know. It's a good debate. So this article about Diddy and the Illuminati continues. It says it's crucial to differentiate between fact and speculation when discussing the connections between Diddy and the Boule Society and the Illuminati. Diddy's a prominent figure, but the claims surrounding him often lack the evidence. Instead, they highlight the tendency to connect successful individuals with these organizations. Now, typically, I would probably agree with that. Like, what's the connection? Because I don't think that just because you black and made money that you automatically Illuminati. I'm not one of them people. Because I know how simple making money is. Not easy, but simple. But I don't think you get accused of this multiple times. So when we see it in an article and then we see it, somebody that Diddy was clearly like, it's not even debatable at this point. It used to be debatable. This dude was hired by Diddy. And he says this stuff, you know, it makes it it makes you go like, okay, what's going on for real? What's going on behind the scenes? I want to hear what the guy had to say one more time. Let's put it on screen.
P. Diddy, whatever you call him. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's part of what's called the Boule. The Boule is a branch of the Illuminati.
Okay.
I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard lots of business. Because what they would do is Sean talks a lot on the phone and on the TV with people and stuff, and I was like a sex slave. Okay.
Now, mind you, this is all before before the trial kicked off and all that, like a year before the trial kicked off. So this dude was telling the truth. It sounded crazy at the time. Like never. He was telling the truth, man. Anyways, we're coming up on our time. That's all the time I got for today, you guys. Make sure you go to ulegend.com, join the inner circle, go over there, join my inner circle. We're going to have some good business conversations over there. I don't have time to get to it today because we had a long live stream on this topic, and I'm running out of time, and I got other content to do today, and I got other things to do, some employees to go talk to, and some training to do. Let's see what you guys saying in the chat. Hello, I retired and can't work just to work. Okay. Diddy was just a perv. I think he would have been like that with or without the money. I think the money amplified it. Said, you would never work for $20? No, I wouldn't. That's my choice, bro. But I'm a millionaire now. I worked for $20 when I was, working jobs. I used to work construction. No, I would not work for $20 an hour these days. And that doesn't make me not humble or humble. I just understand different things than you. And I teach people now how to build businesses for a living. So if you would work for $20 an hour, God bless you. But bro, I make you have no idea. So don't be jealous. Just ask me how to do it and I'll teach you. Let's see what else you guys are saying. So what business are you in? I have a consulting firm. Say you appear to be a moral millionaire, so it's possible. Yeah, but that's millions. Like millions is not. It sounds crazier before you have it. I know what it's like to be poor, so I know I know exactly what you think when you hear a millionaire because I thought it before. But that's not as crazy as it. Like you can be moral and make millions. The billions, though, I don't know, man. Maybe it's just because I haven't made that much. But I do think somebody said to be a billionaire, you're gonna have to step on some people's head. I think so, because I know what it's like, man, to make money, and I think billions is a crazy amount. I think you do have to step on somebody at some point. To be a millionaire and be moral is very easy. All you got to do is truly be connected with God and care about your relationship with God, and you're gonna stay on the path. But billions. Anyways, said LeBron got a Boule tattoo on his chest for real. I'm gonna go check it out. Anyways, God bless you guys. Check out the website, ulgnd.com, ulegend.com. I'll see you guys on tomorrow's live stream. I'll be back, man. My birthday coming up too, so I'm about to go have some fun with my wife. God bless you guys. I hope that this information was informative and entertaining. And until the next live stream, y'all stay blessed by the best, man. God is good all the time. Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. See you guys next time.